we'll learn that how we can go and build the lab over GNS. So here you can see that what are the steps we have. First of all, we should have all the required GNS software up and running. So for that, step is to go to this link. Here you can see gns.com software download. You can create the account. You can download the software, two software, GNS3 and then VM for GNS3. These two software you can install. You can download and then obviously you'll install. Now once we have these software, then we can go and we should have hypervisor. So choice of hypervisor is VirtualBox, VMware Workstation, VMware Player, ESXi, etc. Now this VirtualBox and VMware Player, these are the free software. Although VMware is recommending that you use VMware Workstation. If you want to use Workstation, then you have to go to VMware site and you have to purchase the license. Otherwise, you can go and use VirtualBox. In our lab, we are using VirtualBox. So I'm going to use VirtualBox. So now we have three software. We have software related to GNS, GNS VM, and VirtualBox. Once we have all the software, then we can go and install the VirtualBox. Then you can go and install the GNS3 as well. Then you can go and import the VM for GNS3 inside the VirtualBox, and then you can create your own lab and topology. Correct. So these are the steps, although these are easy and straightforward. So for example, I have this VirtualBox installed. So what I'll do, I will go and install GNS. Here you can see that I'm using version 2.2.5, and later you will see that I will go and use 2.2.7 as well. At this time of recording, we have 2.2.8 as well available, but I found that this 2.2.5 is much more stable than the other versions, so I'm going with 2.2.5. Okay, so here you can see that it is asking that you have this Microsoft library or not. If you don't have, then it will go and do that installation. Once it will do, it will go and install this WinCap. We know that WinCap is there to do the packet captures and all. So it will do that. What basically we need to do, that we should just follow next step. And suppose if any of the software that my internet is not downloading, so for example Wireshark, so it's okay, I can leave it. I can go without Wireshark and I can complete my installation. So now you can see that it is going on, and next. Now would you like to get your SolarWind toolset? This is free. Yes. And now it is redirecting towards the SolarWind page where you can go and check the other features as well. Alright. So now here you can see that GNS is installed, and again GNS3 is redirecting us to this particular page where if you want you can go to the downloads and you can check all the softwares. Here you can see 2.2.8 is the latest one. So you have the software and then you have the download VM for GNS3. All these things you can download. Alright, so once we have this installation, then what we can do, that we can go, here you can see that it is asking me to follow the steps one by one. At the moment I should go back, so let me go back here and I should start this as well. So I have this option of open with VirtualBox Manager is there, but this installation of VirtualBox Manager is also very easy. You can go and do a step by step. You can follow all the steps. Alright, so RAM requirement 2 GB and rest of the virtual say virtual RAM and virtual storage, virtual CPU, etc. Everything is virtual here at this point of time. So we can go and import this. While importing this, you'll find that it may throw you error for 2 or maybe 3 times. So just ignore the error if it is coming, and then you can see that this is here. Now you can click here and then you can click start. So that means my GNS3 VM will getting started. Now again you can see that here it is telling that you don't have any VBox, that is the VirtualBox Network Adapter 1. So if you want, you can go and change the setting, or if you close this also it's okay. So let me see if I can close this. So it is not letting me close. No problem. We'll go to change network settings. What is the recommendation actually? That you should have two adapter. One adapter for host only adapter, and here you can see that VirtualBox host only Ethernet adapter, and the second adapter should be NAT. That's the minimum requirement we have. So we can click OK. Now here you can see that it is starting. This server is starting. Once this server will get started, you will find that it will take one IP address as well, and that IP address actually we are going to use inside our GNS server machine as well. So give him some time to start. Meanwhile, we'll go to gns3. Do not show me this again. Here you can see run application in a virtual machine, then run application on my local computer and the server. In our case, that is virtual machine that is running behind. Here you can see in the back. So do not show this again, and okay. So here you can see that you have the virtual box. If you go and click OK, if you want to see the IP, you can scroll down, you can go to the shell, and then you can go and use if config, and you can see that you have certain interfaces and the IP addresses are assigned via the DHCP. So at this moment it's okay. We'll go back to our GNS3, and inside GNS3, let me minimize this first. Alright, so I'm minimizing it, and we can see that it is stuck in here. So alright, so now you can see the setup that we have. I can go and click next, and the GNS3 server has been successfully added. Now there is some issue. There's no problem on that because it's still our server behind the scene is working. And at this page, I should go and check box this virtual box. Inside that, I have GNS3 VM, one virtual CPU and RAM. I can go next, and then this is the setting. Now it is trying to contact the virtual box server that we have in the back. So we can wait. And initially in first time installation, it will take some time, but we should follow the steps. And if we follow the steps, this will get installed. So now it is communicating with the server, the GNS3 VM server. We can wait. So here you can observe that it's still this is trying to communicate with the server. The good practice at this point of time is that once you install this software, that's GNS3, you should go and reboot your laptop, and then you should start the task to do the communication from the VirtualBox to your GNS3. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, that I'm going to reboot it, and then again I will go and show you next things that you should go and check. If you go and check all those things, then it will be very easy to work on. And then we'll go and create our test lab. where we are going to learn about the Linux and Python and the network automation scripts. So those things I'll cover. Let's continue where we left off. So here you can see that we have the GNS3 installed. We can go and click next, and then it will go and try to contact with the local virtual box that we have. This installation, although I'm doing over one of the virtual machine that is hosted locally. So now you can see that we are getting some of the successful message and some of the error message. No problem. I can go here and check this as a virtual box that we should do. We can wait. And here you can see that the Windows 7 CPU and RAM you can see, but in GNS3 it's not started. It's still it has some issue. So what you can do in this at this point, let me show you this. So what you can do here is that you can go to edit, and then you can go to preferences. In preferences you can go and check the setting. So here you can see the settings. Let me show you all these things. General setting should be looking like this, then binary image, then console, etc. The main important one is the server. You should have enable local server checked, and then your host binding should be localhost. Now this remote server will come automatically. We'll see that how. If not, then we can go and add the entry manually. Then we can go here and check the GNS3 VM is the virtual box, and VM is this. That's also 100% correct. We can go and click OK. See, still you can see that the server is not started. It should be starting, and then you can go here to various templates. We'll see that how we can go and use the template. But if you have the templates, you can go to these templates, and then first of all you should go to the file and create one project. So I'll give this a name as a test, and then you'll get your workspace where you can go simply and drag drop few of these switches. You will see that is there by default with GNS, that is the GNS switches. And then you have to go and create the templates, or you have to import other of the networking devices as such. Now for all those devices, your GNS3 should be up and running. Okay, and that's not the case we have at this point of time. So we should make this up and ready. Okay, so let me open the virtual box and let me start this GNS3 VM, and let's see that is it getting the IP, because that IP should be here inside the GNS3 when we are going to edit and preferences, and it should go and contact the server and this GNS3 VM. Okay, and inside server you should have a remote server with an IP. So here you can see that it is starting, and we'll give this VirtualBox little bit of time. The username and password for this is GNS3 and GNS3. Failed to connect with the change logs Ubuntu. So there is some problem, and here you can see that it is not getting any IP address. So what I'm going to do here, that I'll show you the same setting and setup in my local system. So let me open the GNS3 in my local system here, and in this I'm going to do the lab. So whatever steps that we have done so far, the same steps are applicable. Then I should go and create new project. So you can see it is contacting the local server and it is prompting for any of the project name, say for example test 10. Okay, at the moment I have done test 10, and at the moment I clicked, you can see in the bottom that the VirtualBox get started. Now once VirtualBox will get started, and if you see, it will get one IP address. Then next, I'll show you that what type of network setting we have at this point of time. So meanwhile it is coming up, I can go here. See, it is popping up. So let's see that what IP it will get. And then I will go and show you the setting, rest of the setting. So 192.168.56.105. Now if you go to edit and preferences, see same setting as it is. Then you can go to the server, a remote server. It's okay, it's blank. So it's no problem with that because anyways we are running our services with the local server. But still if I want, I can go and add 105 here and then gns3. Okay, I can apply and I can click OK. Let's see the remaining setup. So again, you can see the VirtualBox, the gns3 VM, and rest all the things are okay. Now I want to create the project. So for that project, I need to create the template. Here you can see that I have this network automation already, Ubuntu Docker already, but how you can do it? You can create new template, and once you create that, you can go scroll down, you can go next. You'll get list of firewalls. So here you can see this many firewalls. Then you can go and get the list of guests like AAA, CentOS, etc. Then you can go get the list of routers and the switches. So many devices are supported inside GNS3. Now inside guest, even you can go here and on the top in the filter and you can search. So this is the network automation I want to install because I already installed. So what you have to do, simply select that, go next and click finish. Because I already have, so I'm not clicking finish here. But once you finish, then you will get this. Likewise, you can go to the Ubuntu Docker and you can put it. Correct? Uh, say for example, what about routers and switches? Say here you can see that I have one viral Cisco viral virtual internet router lab. This Cisco viral actually I purchased. I paid $199 for 1 year of license for router switches, and there are so many other devices as well. Let me show you this. So here you can see that I have CSR, then I have this L2 switch image. Even if I go to viral image, these images I have because I purchased the license. And if you want to import this, so what will be the process? I already imported one of the router, but if I want to import a switch, I can go and click to the switch, new template, and then we should go next. So I can go to the next, and then I want to install one of the switch. So I want to install say Cisco iOS. You can see iOS VL2, that is QEMU, and even you have the Nexus 9K as well, and rest of the switches. So I want to install this, then it will go and tell that install this over GNS3 VM because that's my local server. I can go click next. I can go click next. Now the license part will come into the picture. So it is telling that you should import this. This is the missing thing. So now if you go and click import, so download means it will redirect you towards that link. Import means that it will tell you that you can go there and you can take that link. So I have that viral folder. Let me quickly go to the viral folder. and let me open that. So I have my viral folder. Let me open the viral folder and share with you. So where is my viral folder? So here it is. So this is viral image, and I want to L2 this. Click there, and it is importing. You can see now it is green. Simply click select and next. Yes, finish this task. Okay, now it is created. So means if I go to the switch, here you can see that I have this Cisco IOS L2 15.2.1 that I can use it in our lab. So let's build the lab. How you can build the lab is uh, for the lab, obviously you need multiple devices, router and switches. So what I can do, that I can use the GNS switch and then this. So this is the switch I have. Then I can go, let me decrease the font size a little bit, and then I can increase. So then I need the public IP over the automation server. So I can go and use this NAT cloud for that. Then I should have the automation engine that I want to use in the upcoming Python lab, and we are going to do a lot many scripting with help of the automation engine. Now, once you put automation engine, it will take some time for first time. So you do not think that anything is wrong, but yeah, it will take some time, and it depends upon what a router or sorry, what laptop configuration you have. So, for example, in my case, I have only 8 GB RAM in this laptop, so it will take some time depending upon your CPU and RAM. Now, I have these three things. What I want to do here is that I want to add one of the switch as well. So I can go and add one switch. Then I want to connect with the corporate network that is outside connected with my laptop. So I can go and use it. This can be my external network. So maybe cloud network or maybe external corporate network. So for example, external network. All right. So once you have this baseline setup, and if you want to add the router as well, router after the switch, so you can go and use. So I am using one router, one switch from the viral, and rest of the things from the GNS3. So now we should go and do the connection. This is my automation engine or automation tool from where I want to play around various things. One link I can connect to the switch, and then it can go and connect to the router, and then for the external network I can go and connect with the external network Ethernet interface. Now there are so many nice things we have in the GNS3. Suppose if you want to change the display or change the symbol, you can go and always you have this option change symbol. What you want classic, you want blue, gray, etc. All sort of different type of you can see um, options are there. Grid and skull, so many things are there, correct? Multi-layer switch, VM, Wi-Fi. If you want to change gray, then blue, red, even custom symbols are also there. So let me go and quickly use any of the symbol here for my, say for example, cloud, apply, okay, okay. So it will look like that, but you can go and change whatever symbols you want to change. So now once I have all the devices, I want to start them. So I have this green button on top. I can go and click, and you can see that all these devices are becoming green. Now I can go one by one and start the automation. Now for this particular network automation tool, you should go to edit config, and we want to change the IP. We want that it should get the IP from the DHCP. So you can go and do this setting change. Once you do this setting change, you should save this, and I can start the console now. Once I start the console, you can see here that at the moment don't have the IP because initially the DHCP was not enabled. So here you can see that you can go and do the right click to the devices, and you can see it will become red, means it will get a stop. Again, you can go and start it. Now once you start it and once you do the console next time, you will see that it will get the IP address, and we need that IP address. So we'll wait here because this will be the IP from the DHCP for the external network, basically for the internet. This is the netting interface we have. Let me quickly go and change the setting. Let me quickly increase the font size bit so we can see that. So now it is telling that it is available and can we use it? Alright, so now you can see that discovery has started and it got this IP, correct? Now if you go and ping from here to the outside DNS, you can see we are reachable. And now suppose from here, if I want to log in to any of the device, although I haven't configured any of the switch or the router such, I should go and configure the switch in the same network. Let me quickly show you my internal GNS network and then my outside network as well. So I can go here, click console, and my switch has been started. I will go and change the setting as well for this also. Let me go and change this for all the devices. I will change the font size and then alright, so this is the font size, and what is the interface we have? Interface is, so let us complete the lab task. What we are going to do here, that we are building our GNS lab where I want to show you the telnet SSH uninstall. What happened in the last session, that when I was starting my lab, at that time I took my switches, routers, and since I'm running only 8 GB of memory or RAM I have in my laptop, my system got crashed. Same may be the case with you also. So if possible, use at least 16 GB RAM laptop, or if you have very good budget, you can go for 24 or 32 as well. All right, so let's continue, and let me quickly show you that how we can build the lab, and whatever we are going to study, say up to Python at least, we are going to use 8 GB RAM laptop only. And then if my personal laptop having issue, I will reduce the number of devices here, but I'll go and continue add the cloud devices because cloud is the third party that I'm connecting with. So what I can do, that over the cloud I can build my big topology, and then I can go and telnet SSH from my automation tool, and then I can play around. Correct? So I can build my viral topology over the cloud. If I have cloud resources, I have a cloud account I can create. You can also create in your cloud environment, or maybe if you have any physical lab or home lab, that GNS you can go and connect with your home lab as well. And then you can easily use your 8 GB RAM laptop resource to connect to the devices and play around. Rather than hosting all the devices in the GNS itself, we can go and do like that as well. Correct? So let me start the engine, and then Let me go and log into the two of the devices. We know that one of the device is the automation tool and other device is the switch. So while starting this automation tool, I should go and do the config related to DHCP because I want that this device should go outside and then even it can be connected with the corporate or the cloud network as well. So if you do this, please go here and stop this, and then when it comes red, go and start it. Now these are the process intensive process that we are doing here. Once it got started, I can right click and then click console, and then this will come. Now let me quickly go and change the setting and increase the font size to at least 16. Apply. Now it is ready. You will see that it will do the DHCP process and it will get one of the IP. Once it will go and get the IP, then I will go and configure the switch as well. And in the switch also I will go and assign the interface and the IP address in the same IP range. Correct? So meanwhile here you can see that my switch is booting up, and here you can see that the automation tool is also trying to get the IP, so we can wait. Meanwhile I can go and configure my switch. So here you can see that it got IP with this particular range. I'll go and configure my switch. We know that in our switch the interface is gigi 0/0. So let's do it. Still it is coming up. All right. So here it is, switch came back online. Say host name is switch, and then I can go and do the line VTY configuration. Say login local, and then transport input all at the moment. Then I can go and do the enable password. I should do create the username. So let me go and do this user name Cisco. Privilege is 15. Password is Cisco. Alright, I should go and give the IP as well. So let me go do that. IP address is 192.168.122. Say for example 10. 255.255.0, and should be no switch port while giving the IP address because by default the interface may be layer 2. So now took that to no shut, and we can do the ping to the 248 address. That's the automation tool we have. You can see the ping is successful. From here also I can go and do the ping to 10, and yeah. Now next what I can do, that I can do the telnet. So let me try to do the telnet to this IP. Username Cisco and password is Cisco. So let me type here, and we are inside the switch. We can go and check the users. So user is Cisco, correct? So that's the one thing. Second thing, how we can go and do the connection with the cloud. So for the cloud, the IP I have is, so let me do the SSH with the username Cisco with the cloud hosted IP. where I have at this point of time one of the uh, CentOS system. So let me go there, and yes, let me type the password, and I'm inside the CentOS. I can go and check the OS release. So here you can see the OS release of this server that is hosted outside. Let me make some space here so you cannot see two of the window, otherwise it may be a little bit overlapping. Alright, so here you can see that you have this product, and then let me do exit. Here also you can go and check the OS release for the automation. So one place you have Ubuntu 18.4, and we have one other Linux based server CentOS as well. Alright, so this is the way that we can go and create the lab at least to get started. Here you can see I can go to internet, I can go to my local switch. Local switch I can connect routers, and then I can create the topology. I can go to the external network as well. So before we go and start our Linux and Python labs, and obviously the Theory Plus lab, let's go and complete the installation for the Python. So already we know that how our lab look like. So we have the automation engine and the outside where we have the CentOS. Now what I want to do here in the automation engine, I want to go and do the installation for the Python. So for that, I can go here and check apt-get update, and before that you can go and check. By default with this you can see that Python is already there, and here you can see that 381, that's the default with this particular version. But we can go and install few of the plugins related to Python. So we can go and do the apt-get update, and once it will get updated, then I will go and do the installation for Python, and then we'll do the installation for the plugins related to Python, that is nothing but pip or pip. Then finally we'll go and put that netmiko, that is one of the best tool related to SSH, and then you can send the commands from there. In upcoming video you will learn more and more about netmiko, and we have various lab tasks related to netmiko in the Python section. So let me go and do the install for Python as well. And here you can see, so because we have already 3.8.1, so it is telling that it is newly installed and no need to install again. Then I'll go and install Python pip, that is very important. And once we'll do this installation, then I'll go and install the netmiko. So that means here also you can see it is updated. So that means we are very much done with the lab setup, and from next video onwards we are good to go. So the strategy is that first of all we'll go and do the study related to Linux basic networking command, although Linux is a big topic, but we are mainly focused that Linux inside the networking, or for network engineers, what are the important information we should know related to Linux. Okay, so let's stop here, and next section we'll start with the basics of Linux.